Patch 2.06 just dropped, and it's a pretty spicy one. The changes to Viper sound incredibly overpowered and should make her easily one of the strongest agents in the game at locking down territory. I would guess that she has likely catapulted into a meta pick. The Bucky also got a very necessary nerf, and the new HRTF audio is a really nice quality of life change that I immediately felt, although you may need studio headphones or a similarly nice headset to really get the most out of it. But all of that pales in comparison to the biggest news of all. Yoru buffs. In case you're new here, Yoru is my favorite agent in the game. This has not done my rank climb any favors, but I love what he could be in theory, and so I continue to endure his exceptional mediocrity as an agent on the off chance that I can pull off stuff like this every once in a while. While I have no illusions that 2.06 will suddenly make Yoru a better pick than Jett or Raze or Phoenix or even Reyna in competitive, I do think that they made him significantly easier to play, and so I wanted to go over the new mechanics and what it means for Yoru's future in the agent pool. First, let's talk about Blindside. Yoru's flashes were the best part of his kit before the patch, and that remains the case now. As you can see here, they detonate faster, which makes them easier to use without convoluted lineups, but can still be used for any manner of pop flashes. In fact, flashing for yourself is now a bit easier to do because the extra duration should give you enough time to swing on a fully blinded opponent. This is definitely a nice change, but I think any Yoru player had already kind of figured out how to get value from the flashes anyway. Gate Crash was also changed in patch 2.06, and this one is a pretty big deal. The Gate Crash tether lingering for an additional 10 seconds gives you so much more flexibility with when you use it, especially during pre-round setups. You can also more easily use it to be at either site, since you now have more time to get info about which site is being hit before the tether breaks. They also changed it to recharge via time instead of kills, another amazing quality of life buff. This means you will almost always be able to use 2 or even 3 gate crashes per round and can have as low as 5 seconds of downtime between uses. Again, this buff just addresses the ease of use of the agent and allows for much less punishing decision making with your signature ability, which is something I really like to see. The changes to Yoru's ultimate are also super necessary ones. Now that you can teleport to your gate crash while in ultimate form, you won't be able to be chased down by enemies and caught in the exit animation of your ultimate. I would really like to see them implement being able to actually send out a gate crash while in dimensional drift, but I'll take what I can get for now. The fact that your ultimate is mainly useful for scouting, but you would almost always end up dead as a result, was such a frustrating part of playing him. Now you can just charge past people and teleport back to your team when they give chase, having made a ton of space for your allies to establish map control with 0 risk to yourself. It's also cool that you can stay in dimensional drift after teleporting, so that you can technically check multiple parts of the map for your team if you wanted to use it that way. They also made it only cost 6 orbs instead of 7, which sounds like a kind of small change, but means that you'll get to use it at least one more time per half than you would before. I played several games with the new Yoru already, and I have to say that he feels a lot more fluid to play than he did before. I think this is a bit closer to how the devs really wanted his kit to feel when they released him, but it was so clunky to use initially. Like I said, I still don't think that he will be picked over any of the other duelists in competitive, but I find him more fun to play, and that means other people will probably experiment with him more as well, and that's always a good thing. I still think that he has one of the most interesting kits in the game that could potentially be very exciting to harness with a few more tweaks to his abilities, and so I hope that Riot will continue to iterate on Yoru. Anyway, I know this is a little bit different than the normal content I put out on this channel, but Yoru's my boy, so I just wanted to kind of talk about the changes to the agent, and I hope you enjoyed and will join me for another video in just a couple of days.